Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of What's in Frank's Head. I am currently in Virginia. I'm returning from a training trip to Baltimore, where I taught a gas company, and I taught control logics for automation training, which is a Canadian company that I contract to. I've been doing training for about, I would say, 8 or 9 years now. And of course, after COVID, things slowed down quite a bit. So I haven't done as many of those trainings lately. But anyway, I did a training in Baltimore. It was a great class. Met some really cool people. There were 8 people in the class, and we networked a bunch of control logics PLCs together, and had a good old time. Kind of not only did the standard training, but also kind of went over some things particular to the gas industry and talked about machine safety and safety circuits, things like that. So it was a very good class. I enjoyed it. The thing I don't necessarily enjoy is driving 700 miles one way. And people ask me sometimes, well, why don't you fly? And flying, by the time you're done with it and you park your car at the airport and you buy a plane ticket and you rent a car wherever you're going, and of course in this case the airport was pretty far from where the class was, then you keep the car for 5 days or something, it takes just as long by the time you're done, and it definitely costs just as much, even though gas is expensive. I just filled up and it was $3.45 a gallon. So pretty expensive here. But anyway, I'm on my way home. It's Thursday morning. It's raining here in Virginia, and let me check the temperature. It is 47 degrees, which is all right. It was 33 when I woke up this morning and a little bit slick. But in any case, welcome to the ramblings of what's in my head. I had a few things that I wanted to talk about this morning. I've been on the road for about 2 hours, and part of being on the road, I listen to some podcasts and talk shows in the morning. And one of the things that one of the podcaster people were talking about was why it is important to take classes from people that have actually done what you're learning. That's kind of makes sense, but if you think about it, PLC programming is a good example of this. There are a whole bunch of videos out there and a lot of people teaching classes, and one of the things I've noticed, I've met a whole ton of people that teach these classes, and yes, they know how to use the programming software, but one of the things they have not done, none of them that I've found, is programmed an entire project. And I mean a fairly large project, not just a couple pushers or a conveyor or something like that, but actually programmed an entire machine. As far as I know, I'm the only one who is teaching PLC classes that has programmed whole machines, large programs all the way through. That kind of qualifies me to be, I suppose, an expert at what I'm teaching. I'm not saying that if you're learning basic PLC programming that somebody can't teach you the basic software. And for instance, if I am learning Allen Bradley's software, somebody from Allen Bradley could teach me how to use that software. But they can't teach me how to write a program because they don't know, honestly. I've been putting a lot of content out there on how are programs structured. One of the things we talked about in this class that I had is what is it like? How long does it take to write a full program for a large machine, for a line, which in their case, right, they're a gas process control company, so they don't have machines, but they have lines, right? They have a bunch of compressors and pumps and things like that, and they all have to work together. And teaching how the software works is one thing. How does a timer work? How does a counter work, or a PID loop, or things like that? That's one thing. You can learn those individual instructions, but when it comes to putting together an entire program, that's something I consider myself in a unique position to teach. My problem, I can teach this stuff live, and I've been doing it, but my problem has been when recording videos, there's a lot of material there to discuss that is outside of the basic timers and counters and subroutines and things like that. There's a lot of extra stuff. Obviously, to be able to write programs like that, you have to understand the electrical system or the mechanical system even of the line that you're programming. And every application is different. Obviously these gas processor guys, completely different thing than a medical device manufacturer or a beverage manufacturing company or food processing or automotive manufacturing. All those industries are different. I feel very uniquely qualified in that I have written programs for all of those. Process control and automotive and medical devices and pharmaceuticals and food and beverage. So I kind of feel uniquely qualified to do that. But when it comes to recording videos, it's very difficult to decide where to start and which industry to focus on. Like these guys that I taught this week, they didn't care about pick and places or robots or vision systems or any of the things that I do in manufacturing. I/O link, right? They did care about things like Flex I/O, Point I/O, because they use some of that. They definitely cared a lot about PID loops and calibration, lots and lots of analog, tying pumps together and cascading different types of processing equipment. They cared about that, but they didn't care so much about the manufacturing stuff. So what do I concentrate on? On LinkedIn, here's another example. I program, probably 6 or 7 different types of PLCs pretty well. And somebody was saying there is not very much Siemens material online. And so I kind of pointed to my YouTube channel and I said, well, I've got some Siemens stuff on there. But then I went and looked at it and I realized, I've got 12 videos on Step 7, Siemens Step 7. But there are no TIA portal videos on my YouTube. There are a bunch of ControlLogix videos, there are a bunch of webinars, there are some RSLogix 500 videos, and a lot of Step 7 videos, but there is no TIA portal. Well, it takes a long time to record those videos. It takes less time to record them if they are what I call my Odyssey style. When I program Odyssey style, I just start writing a program and start the program and start building it, start doing some system start and stop controls, mode control, things like that, and then I start writing routines to accomplish different things, and I do simulations. That goes pretty fast. But to write an actual training program starting at the very beginning and saying, this is a coil, this is a contact, this is a timer, here's how they work. One is it's kind of redundant because I've already explained how timers and counters and coils and things like that work on other platforms. And two, I don't have very much time. So I'm already contracted to other people to work a couple of weeks a month, and I'm doing these trainings. But I really am still interested in recording videos. I'm very interested in my Automation Academy and building it a little bigger. But honestly, I think I need help. Not so much on the video recording or content creation. I can probably find time to do that, but I'm finding it very difficult to concentrate on the Automation Academy and keep adding material to it. I have a ton of written material, but it just takes a while to download it and organize it and keep up with the website. And then probably the biggest thing I'm struggling with is advertising it. I think it's a pretty good site. I've got a lot of good training material on there and job hunting material, and there's put a lot of time and money into creating a social media site. There are groups and there are individual profiles you can set up on there, and people can talk to each other. But I've got probably 5 or 6 people that are paying, monthly subscription fees for it, and they don't even really use it. I think part of the problem there is that unless somebody has an immediate problem that they're trying to solve, and then they may come to the website and try to look up the material to solve that immediate problem, a lot of people don't have time to take a full class. They don't have time to sit down and watch every one of my Step 7 Odyssey videos, or take all the little tests and things that go with the RS Logix 500 videos. And that may not be even their platform. They may be Mitsubishi or Omron, something like that. I got a couple of Omron videos on there, but so it's really hard to be all things to all people. But at the same time, I don't want to niche myself down too much. There's already a ton of people doing ControlLogix online. Vlad Romanoff, Solus PLC, well-known guy, Sean Tierney. They have some really good videos. But the one thing that I have that they don't have is I don't think either one of them have written full-blown programs from scratch for a large line, started it up, commissioned it, started it from scratch, used all the tools that I use. Right, to write a large program, it actually takes some tools like Excel spreadsheets where you set up all of your tags offline and you import them into the program. And if you do it right, you can even generate some of the code. Things like faults and input and output routines, which are pretty boring. You may have 500 inputs, and most of your inputs look the same. They have relatively the same structure, right? Like debounce timers, pulse extension timers. Sometimes people call it back checking, where you have a normally open sensor and then it's opposing normally closed sensor on the other side. And generating that code is pretty repetitive. So this is a great thing to use spreadsheets for. And I've actually been creating some videos on that. My last webinar was on that, using templates. My webinar this Saturday will be on importing and exporting of those tags. How is that spreadsheet structured? I'm going to go over that because I'm teaching a class in it next week. I'm teaching it to people whose job will be programming. They're not just there to maintain machines. They're there to write programs from scratch. One of the things I realized when I looked at the programs that they have at the place that I'm teaching is that probably most people take an existing program that's already just mostly there and they just change it, right? They strip some stuff out and they start with whatever tags were in there, and they kind of have their old program they've worked on before. And after you've done 4 or 5 programs, you just pick the one that's closest to the application you're working on and you modify it. So you're not really starting from scratch. You're kind of starting with a program that you've worked with before. That's a whole different thing than starting from absolute scratch, which is kind of what I have to teach. I need to teach people, if you start from zero, what are all the elements that you need to have in your program? So anyway, that's just a little rambling off the top of my head, what I'm involved with. I am doing a lot of teaching lately, which gives me less time to record videos and things like that. I will be, of course, doing a webinar this weekend on ControlLogix tags and templates and things like that. And then next week, I'm teaching automation NTH's interns and apprentices. And then the week after that, I'm going to Atlanta, another road trip, and teaching ControlLogix again. Then I think I have a week, at least partially, off. I'll be doing work at Automation NTH and filling in some more of my time, and then going to Washington, near Seattle, at the end of March, and teaching a class on Factory Talk View SE Site Edition, which is SCADA. And SCADA is another important piece of all of this. Obviously, the gas company I just taught at, they use a lot of SCADA. They used Wonderware, by the way, which is a kind of an older package in there. They told me some of the particulars about Wonderwear that made it difficult to migrate from their old packages to their new packages, and how much money they're spending and how much time they're spending. They had some good war stories that we got to share. That was kind of cool. And then this class I'm teaching next month is to a Navy base. I don't know what to expect there, but they use SCADA, and they're using Alan Bradley's Factory Talk View SE. So I'll be going out and doing that for a week, again, for automation training. So that's what I'm up to. That's what is on my mind at the time. I'm dead serious about needing help on my Automation Academy. If there's anybody out there that wants to get involved with this, you know what it comes down to is, can you make money doing it? Yes, you absolutely can. If you are more of a marketer than me, you're going to help make money for both of us. You could come and work with me or for me or whatever, and actually help me turn this thing into something that makes a good bit of income. I'm making enough now to pay for the site. That's basically it. But I spend a lot of the rest of my time generating income, teaching classes. That's probably where most of my income comes from, or working contract for Automation NTH. But the Automation Academy, to give you an example, I charge $29.95 per month for the gold membership, and it's $9.99 per month for the silver membership. The silver membership ultimately should mostly just get you written content. However, right now, good deal for those who are watching this and want to join and get all the videos, the $29.99 package for $9.99. I don't think there's actually right now a huge difference between the gold and the silver memberships. I think I've got most of the videos that I have on there included in the silver membership. So the silver guys are getting what the gold guys are getting. But what I'd ultimately like to do is I'd like to put all of the PLC videos, all the actual training videos, in the gold membership, and make the silver membership only include the written material and probably all the job hunting videos. I have something on careers and finding your kind of your sweet spot using the proximity principle by Ken Coleman. That I'm going to keep in the silver program. But if somebody could help me with this site, I would actually pay you to do it. But also I would share the profits in it if you're a driven person. I don't want an employee. Just somebody working for me. For one thing, I travel all the time, so I can't supervise somebody and hold their hand through all this. I need somebody that understands a little bit about marketing and promotion, and who is as excited as I am about making the Automation Academy a good training site with lots of good material in it. I'm good at creating the material, and I can find other people that are good at creating the material, right? If enough members join, they would help pay for even using other people's content. There's lots of ways to do this. I think my content's decent. Like I said, I'm the only one teaching the advanced stuff, so I can put stuff on there that's far beyond what probably most of the other video makers are doing. I can't vouch for the quality of mine. You know, you can see the quality here. You're just looking at my face, and I'm recording on a phone, so it's not awesome video quality. But my normal recordings, I know how to use Camtasia and create a decent training video, and I've done that. If you'd like to see some of my stuff, you're probably finding this on YouTube. Look at some of my other YouTube videos. Some of them are just me, programming, but some of them are formal. If you look at any of the RS Logix 500 formal training videos, those are, I use graphics, and I use music, and I use different things to, try to make it a good class. And I actually do have test questions and those kinds of things. So, and I have books to back all this up. So if somebody wants to help me build the Automation Academy site and promote it, I will share the profits with you. Like I said, I don't need an employee. I don't want employees as such. I need kind of a partner. I spend a lot of my time teaching and creating content, and I need somebody to help mostly promote the website, organized it, come up with some good ideas of other material to put on there, even help me integrate other resources into the site and make it a really good overall industrial automation training website. I think the potential is there, and I would love to talk to you about it if you're interested, if you're seeing this. I don't know when people would see this. Somebody may be watching this 2 years after I made it. Who knows? Right now, we're just coming out of COVID-19, and Russia just invaded Ukraine yesterday, so that's an idea of how long ago it was if you're watching this video in the future. But in any case, I'm going to end this here. That's what I'm up to. I hope you're all doing well. Those of you who follow my YouTube videos and things, and if you're interested in helping me, hit me up. See you later.